absolutely love this question because it gives me an opportunity to talk about all of the things that I rail about on this app. So, people say that I do not look like a CEO. People say that absolutely all the time. And you know what? I am never offended when they say it because I understand why they say it. I show up with a red lip, a high ponytail, and hoop earrings. And so I challenge the stereotypes that exist about what a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company should look like, in particular one that celebrates Southern living. And I'm often on here talking about how overweight Black women are perceived and how we are expected to show up in the world a certain way, in particular jovial, nice, and upholding the mammy stereotype on one hand or the Jezebel stereotype on the other. And so when you show up successful and you do not fit into those stereotypes, then we are told that, hey, you don't look, sound, or act like a typical CEO. And because I'm not white, I don't look like the CEO of this particular candle company. And when people say it, I am not offended. Like, I'm not on here railing about it. I am going to rail about something at the end of the week or the beginning of next week that occurred, but I understand it and I'm not upset about it. There is a reality that I am able to just say, okay, this is how it is. And I have experienced all kinds of discrimination as a result of being a Black female CEO of a Southern inspired company and refusing to play the game. Like, I have experienced it all, but I'm never upset about that. That's part one. Part two is I'm not on here complaining about being scammed by a man because of how I look. There's the things that I have achieved in life, I achieved because I wanted them and I worked hard for them. I wasn't sitting around trying to play the part for the approval of a man. Being a wife was never something I aspired to, so I wasn't sitting around waiting to be chosen by a man. Being a mom was not something that I was like, oh my God, I can't wait until this happens, so let me wait for a man to choose me to have kids. That was never in my on my bingo card. And then when I did have a child, I had the number of children that I wanted because I understood how men are. So there is a reality that exists. So when we say she doesn't look the part of a VP's wife in Atlanta of all fucking places, there's a reality that exists there. She doesn't look the part. We're not saying that it is impossible or that there's no VPs there that have overweight Black. We're not saying that. We're saying based off of the story that she told, that the likelihood of a VP doing all of the things that he did for her is unlikely. And that there's a reality there that she should have acknowledged. That's all we're saying. So that is all that we're saying. So when men come on here and tell me that I'm old, let me not even talk about men. Let me talk about y'all, because young women in particular love to come on and talk about I'm fat, I'm old, I'm angry, I'm bitter. Like, young Black women love to come on and say all of these things about me. But I understand that you are saying them because of stereotypes. And so the intersectionality of it all is what I'm saying, that we are the nuance, the misogynoir, are all of the things that I'm saying that we ignore when there is just a truth to it. Has she come on and said, in fact, she did come on and say it. I don't know which part of the video she eventually got to the point where she literally said there were obvious flags that I overlooked because I wanted to be a wife. Like, she literally said those things. And I'm just saying, I wouldn't have got scammed by a forklift driver because I don't fucking date forklift drivers. Now, all of the women that come in and be like, oh, you think you're better than her? No, I don't think I'm better than her. I don't fucking date forklift drivers. Like, that's just me. So it'll be hard for me to be scammed by a forklift driver. I may be scammed by somebody else. I seriously doubt it. because of how my spicy neurodivergent brain is set up. It's possible, but it's highly unlikely. And so but see, TikTok is where all of these things go to die. The nuance, the intersectionality, the misogynoir. This is the place where it all goes to die. And then when people state the obvious, and the obvious is the uncomfortable truth that we'd rather not address, people get all up in arms and act like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. When I say, if you are a fat, dark-skinned woman, people don't think that you deserve love, that's how society views dark, overweight black women. That's not the reality, because we all have love. I'm in a loving relationship now. But to hear y'all tell it, don't no man want me, I'm too angry, I'm bitter, I'm never going to find him, I'm die alone, I got cat, like all of this shit that's not true. But it's based off of perception. So all I'm saying is, her desire to be a wife made her overlook obvious realities that exist in society. And one of those things that she clearly overlooked is that her physical appearance made it unlikely that a VP would date her. Harold and Gail and Sabrina is a prime example. Harold is a president of a bank. You see what I'm saying? Both of his wives and his fiance, mistress, whatever the hell is going on with that situation, they look very similar and they look the part, and they are in Atlanta. So that's all we're trying to get, that's all I'm trying to get people to see. That, and for me, listen, I'm not dating some 6-foot model that is like, I'm not a millionaire in a private jet. Like, it's probably not gonna happen. And when people tell me, oh, you're probably not gonna meet some rich, fine, older billionaire, like, I'm not sitting around angry about it. I go, that's probably true. And when those men drop in my DMs, maybe you haven't seen my DMs. Like, I made a whole video with my DMs. When those men drop in my DMs and be like, oh, I'm a general stationed here, or these young guys with 6-packs and their shirt off drop in my DMs and be like, oh, I'm looking for a wife, I'm looking for love. I'm like, what the hell? You not looking at that shit from me? Like, this is a scam, because I can accept the truth. I am not their type. I am not what they are looking for. Like, that's all it is. So there's a harsh truth that we do not accept in the black community, in particular black women. And there's a lot of intersectionality and nuance that needs to be discussed, but all of that gets lost on TikTok.